And now, prepare your ear holes for penetration as we bring you another great podcast from the Poop Culture Extended Universe.
Hey dudes and dudettes, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Be Kind and Rewind podcast, a podcast chock full of everything that is nostalgic about the 80s, 90s, and more, where we chat with our favorite celebrities about our nostalgic VHS days. This episode, we have critical mass as we're shrinking down to the sizes for this special movie commentary of Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. So joining me is the man we've been seeing and hearing in an astonishing amount of our favorite movies, theater, and television shows for decades, lending his voice, dramatic, and comedic chops to each role, especially in this one as the classic Gordon Salinsky. So I welcome back to the show, Stuart Pankin.
Hey, great to be back on us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it coming back on today. We're just going to jump right into it. So we're going to get into what you've been up to, into what this movie's about. So if you're ready, Stuart, and everybody else is ready, we can just do the countdown and get into it. So you're ready?
I'm with you.
All right, here we go. In 3, we're going to start the movie, listeners. In 3, 2, 1.
All right.
All right, here we go. We got the Disney logo. So back in 97, this is when this magic was unleashed to us. At Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. So what was the process of you getting involved with this role?
I think it was just an audition. Yeah, I know it was an audition. First time I met Dean Cundy, who was the director. He was Steven Spielberg's cinematographer.
Yeah, it was his directorial debut, wasn't it?
Yes. And it was also, as I remember, the first made-for-video movie. It was actually, there was they didn't have any plans to release it in a theater. It was made for video. I think it was the first one.
Yeah, they had plans for theatrical release, but I think 97. This is like the peak DVD sales and stuff like that, and they were having a really good successful run with the direct-to-video sales, so they kind of switched it over from the theatrical release to the video. Did you guys find out at a certain point, or was it like late in the process when you knew it was going to get switched from one release to the other?
No, I never really, more than I do, I never heard that it was scheduled for theatrical release. I just know that it was scheduled for, we were told it was the first planned made-for-video feature movie.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like I said, just with the DVD sales and things were going like that, and the direct-to-video was pretty successful, so I can see that decision there. But yeah, seeing this being a pretty good cult classic, I would say, for the most part, it turned out to be a good decision.
Oh yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. I'm glad I was involved with it.
And Dean Cundy, this is, like I said, his first and like his swan song in directing. He went on to be a cinematographer, like you said, for a bunch of movies.
Yeah, I think he was Spielberg's cinematographer. I don't know how many other movies Dean directed. Like I said, a lot more than I do. Are you saying that this was the only movie he directed?
Yeah, I went on his IMDb just to kind of double check, and this is it. This is the only thing, and he's got one director credit, and the rest is cinematography. So, he's been on, like you said, with Steven Spielberg. So he's been on, of course, a bunch of blockbusters and other things that he's done.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Good old Rick Moranis. This was his last movie too before he, stepped away from acting.
Right. He had some family issues, and he decided to concentrate on his kids.
It's understandable. It's a noble and great decision, and some people still can't wrap their heads around it for some reason.
Although I'm not sure, I read someplace that Rick is maybe coming back and doing maybe one other project. Maybe his kids are old enough now that he can get back in acting. It'd be nice to have him back.
Yeah, good. It'd definitely be awesome to see what he'd be interested, what he'd be involved in at this point in time.
Yeah.
So did you? Oh, sorry.
Wait. I'm just saying, are we watching the same thing? They're in the yard now.
Yeah, they're in the yard. Him and Adam are talking. He's got the helmet on.
Right.
He's getting ready to send the shrink ray to the Smithsonian next to the first record player. which apparently Adam doesn't know. And my thing with Adam in this movie, he should be like a famous kid, because he just, in the last movie 8 years ago, after is how this one takes place, he should be like a famous kid somehow, some way. He walked through the Vegas Strip. That was just my only, like, he should have more of a, this kid's a kid celebrity to some degree. He's a normal kid, but that was just always my thing. Did you enjoy the first two movies before getting involved with this one, or is this something that kind of was new to you?
No, the first I actually read for the first movie.
Oh wow, nice.
Being the part, I forget who ended up doing the neighbor. I read for the neighbor and got close, didn't get it. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what they called me in for this thing. The second one, yeah, I enjoyed them all. I thought they were very clever. I always enjoyed watching the technology, although I'm sure nowadays if they did it, the technology would be more than it was then. What'd you say, 97?
Yeah, 97. Well, yeah, and the first or the second one was like 90, 91, 92. Or first one was what, 91, I believe? I can't remember which year that was. I
don't either. Don't ask me movie stuff. You're the expert.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If I'm stumping myself, then I'll understand if you don't know as well. I guess Chevy Chase and John Candy were supposed to be Wayne in the first movie, but John Candy suggested Rick Moranis, so that kind of a fellow Canadian help each other out.
They're joined at the hip, those Canadians.
Oh yes. Eve Gordon was playing the mom. I've seen her a lot because my wife is a big fan of Felicity and Heart of Dixie and some of these other shows that she's been involved with. So definitely seen her around.
Yeah, wonderful actress, works a lot. Nice woman.
Oh yeah. The whole tiki thing, I like how it's just a foreshadowing throughout the whole movie. It's just that thing. What was it made of? That big tiki thing.
Oh, probably styrofoam, something light, so that we could, if I recall, get it up the stairs.
As I say, going up those stairs.
Yeah.
And here, Adam wants to go to the underlying plot. Adam wants to go to sports camp as opposed to science camp, going against the grain of the Selinsky family.
Oh, of course. See, you remember all this stuff.
Well, like I said, it's one of those cult classics. It was kind of a good sleepover movie as a kid. Moms knew it was innocent enough, so it'd be the first one in the bed.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that the families can watch a movie, and like all those Honey We Shrunk the Kids movies, they're safe and they're fun and they're interesting and they have nice messages and they're visually exciting and blah blah blah.
Well, the moms can relate because look at the trip here. That these two moms, they want to get away. They're like, we got these crazy kids. Let's get away for 2 days, which is, I wouldn't consider a vacation, but as a mom, anything more than an hour away from your kids is probably considered a vacation. So, Robin Bartlett too, being that the over eccentric mom, she's got the blocks underneath the tires to make sure that the car doesn't roll away. And we all have had that mom who's a little over the top, but for good reason. They're just they paranoid about the kids, but yeah, it's just kind of those good relatable characters.
I'm just trying to catch up with you. Yeah, all these kids. I mean, Allison Mack grew up to be in Supergirl, and she works a lot. I actually ran into Allison Mack in a restaurant years later, and she was with, I guess, her boyfriend, her husband, and father. And I said, Allison Mack, I am your father. And she goes, she sort of backed away. And then I reminded her about the movie.
You say, oh, memory slip. Sorry. Let me remind you as to why.
Say that again.
Oh, so for her, she's like, oh, memory slip. So sorry.
Oh, yeah.
And then now we got Wayne just not being the president or CEO that he should be. He should be more the inventor and not the face of the company, which they picked the right guy to come in and take over here. It's
amazing. I remember so many of these things.
There you are.
Oh, look at this. What a handsome actor. Who is that?
That gleaming smile. Charismatic. You just carry it at all.
That's very kind. I'm looking at this thing again after all these years. I remember how much fun we had doing the darn thing.
I mean, that set alone kind of looks like a Nickelodeon like Double Dare set with all the colors and just how vibrant it all looks.
I don't remember where we did it, but they put all that stuff together. I mean,
yeah, where was most of the movie shot? I mean, I guess for the studio, for the green screen stuff, but for
the green
live...
screen stuff was at the old Howard Hughes airplane hangar.
Okay.
Down in Culver City. And they, you don't have to do a lot when you have green screens. But
no,
this stuff,
to show up.
This stuff is real. They had to make all this stuff.
And the talking dog, kind of like.
I still have that tie. Wait a minute, I have.
Oh wow. That's the Sunday brunch tie.
Yeah. Wow.
And I always enjoyed the glowing milk.
Right.
I always wondered, like, could it be a lotion as well? Like, so I always try to think of other ways it could be applied. I mean, milk was great for, like you said, for the blood absorption, but maybe something like lotion, or like I'm trying to think, maybe like a shampoo, or I don't know. Just try to get creative with it here. It was that Mountain Dew you guys drink, hopefully.
I think it was magic lotion. What are you talking about?
This is movie magic. This is the magic lotion. It's about to happen. Right into the belly.
This is my first porno film.
Yeah, I mean, do you get paid extra for the stag films in the 90s?
only if you glow.
You gotta sign the glowing clause, and you get that little extra little bump.
It was. I remember, looking at Rick now, how nice it was to work with somebody that I've admired for a lot of years. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, he was SCTV, and then
he was SCTV, and that's it.
Well, then, I mean, it feels like it's like with the Saturday Night Live and with you on HBO. You guys just kind of rise through the ranks, and cutting your teeth on some of these earlier shows.
Yeah, well, not necessarily the news and SCTV were sort of around the same time. Excuse me, and we used to run into each other. But the other ironic thing is, I mean, I read for the first Honey We Shrunk Ourselves, and I also read for the character that Rick eventually played in Ghostbusters, the first and the second Ghostbusters. I read for that guy.
For Louis Tully.
Again, close but no cigar. Yeah, this is interesting. Our paths, somehow not only cross, but they
meet, intersect, intersect,
and then they go away.
And I guess there's a fourth installment in this movie, in the franchise, that I guess was another one that went straight to video, and that was just like a couple of years ago. And I couldn't even tell you more than that. So instead of being a trilogy, a true trilogy, it's a quadrilogy, if that's what they want to call it.
I have no memory of that. I have no memory that there's another.
It's kind of like the Lost Home Alones. Like everyone remembers the first two, and there's like that third and fourth one that only like a certain generation remembers. A lost generation.
A lost generation of Honey We Shrunk.
Oh yeah. Did you ever? Did you enjoy the rides too? The Honey and Shrunk the Kids rides they had.
At some amusement.
Yeah, they had like the Universal Studios.
I don't think I was ever on one.
No.
No. Wow.
Or even the walkthrough. They had like little walkthroughs of you look like you're in the backyard.
I don't remember any of that. Wow. I'm old.
You might have had access. You might have had that one day that was just like a gleaming day, and then you had so many more awesome days since then. Like your memories just like Control Alt Delete.
Well, I remember when I did a show called Dinosaurs, and they did bring us down to Florida, and we did all kinds of rides for that, just for publicity. But
did they have you dress up as Earl Sinclair? Did they?
No, never
in the hot suit. They're like, get in just for this one. Get in the suit. You're like, no, God, no.
Yeah, I was never in the suit. Although I put the head on once. It was very hot.
Made you very thankful you were in the studio behind the microphone.
Right. That's exactly right.
Here the mom's getting ready to take off. She's, being the oblivious mom, calling out the underwear, and which to a kid, to an older adult, you're like, I don't care. If I need clean underwear, I need clean underwear. But to a kid, yelling out clean underwear in front of other kids is like the worst absolute thing ever.
I guess so. I never wore underwear, so it doesn't matter.
Jockstrap, it just worked for me for most of the time.
Just a thong and a t-shirt. That's all I needed.
There you go. I like the manipulation here. He's like the Mr. Wizard and Bill Nye. Like, it's a sidetrack. He's like, this is going to be boring to you kids, but I need you out of this house. And when I see this scene, I wonder how many times my parents has done this to me, where I'm thinking, oh, they're sending me on some stupid wild goose chase, or we have to come back to some stupid thing they want us to do. They're like, go get this. Here's $20. Okay, we're gone for an hour. So I actually don't want to know or think about too deep, but yeah, I wonder how many times I fell for it.
Where did he send him? I can't remember.
To the store to get some snacks. I guess they needed some other thing to make the molecules, but he's like, oh, that's not what I want. Need him out of the house.
All right, I remember the old Tiki Man.
Now there's Tiki Man, the styrofoam Tiki Man. Yeah,
well, I'm assuming it's got to be light, because
this thing is not making that corner at the top of the steps. I gotta say,
no. I'm assuming they're gonna cut before that.
Yeah, it's like this will be interesting to see how they make it up, but yeah, good old movie magic.
I remember this set. This was kind of cool.
Was this the same? Did they set this up exactly how the original attic is? I think.
I think
right?
so.
They never changed the attic because the house is different. It seems.
Right. Well, and I remember it was the floor that they put the Tiki Man on. I remember they duplicated that when we were little, and I thought it was kind of cool. Nice. I remember taking my son to the set and letting him look around and ride in the. Remember the car that gets away and.
Oh yeah, the RC little micro machine car and all that. Gets all like the big props that you guys got to have fun on.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to show them that too.
Well, I mean, for people who are maybe not of a certain generation, seeing the shrink machine was like pretty iconic, especially probably for your son. Who I don't know how old he is, but I'm sure it could be probably around my age, 20s or 30s or so at this point, enjoying that kind of stuff because, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the whole franchise was a phenomenon for a few years. So it was pretty well known, and seeing the shrink machine, I think, is seeing it in person. I wonder if they have that prop anywhere still set up, like is it one of the studio tours or maybe like in some back lot somewhere. Possibly.
That's a great question. I'm not only do I not know if they've set up anything in some Disney place. I never see Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves on television. I wonder if that's.
They used to play on the Disney Channel a lot, like back in early 2000s, between of course after it came out a couple years, 99 to maybe probably early to mid 2000s. I always see it on Disney Channel, and then on maybe some TBS or TNT here and there, but mostly Disney Channel. I always stopped to watch it. I had no qualms about stopping whatever I was doing to get down some critical mass.
Could you look at my bank account and tell me if I got residuals for that? I don't remember.
If it had initials next to each person who contributed to that, my CS would be there under many of them. So under the check. So you can thank me later. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It was played a lot. Definitely got its run on cable.
Sometimes as an actor, when you do a movie, you don't remember doing it because you see the movie. You remember the movie. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can't picture yourself on the set and do it. I mean, but often the image that you have of the movie is watching the movie, of seeing yourself in the movie. So I'm looking at these scenes and I'm saying I don't remember doing it. But I remember the scenes because I've seen it, a bunch of times.
I always wondered too, like how much you can take yourself out of the movie or put yourself into the movie, knowing what the scene, filming that scene was like, or just being like, just watching it as the end result.
Well, like I said, I think my perception of the movie is that I see it as the end result, as opposed to being on the set. Now, this is interesting. They told Rick they wanted me to be the one that went nuts, and they told him to be very calm about it because he's a scientist.
Oh, the old station wagon.
It's clever the way they gave a reason for the mothers to come back. It's very nice.
Oh yeah, the medicine and everything. I love she's rocking the fanny pack. Fanny packs are key. They're a must nowadays. People used to make fun of them. No, they are a necessity.
Well, yeah. When I was a little younger, if I ever wore something like that, it would be on the side. I thought that was cooler.
But would you whip it to the front when you needed it, or would you unzip it from the side?
Oh no, always from the side.
It's like having the cell phone attached to the hip, kind of thing.
Oh.
So these are a lot of the scenes that got used in trailers. This one, a lot of you going crazy. Yeah, you had multiple one-liners that were utilized in the trailers for these movies. So
I'm enjoying watching this. I'm glad I'm talking to you.
So the floor underneath you, they made it like the big chrome, chrome floor.
Exactly. It was kind of nifty.
Because it goes back and forth. Because you can see sometimes where it's just clearly a green screen floor, and sometimes you're actually on a platform of some sort with a green screen in the background.
Right. And yeah, lots of times, if like the floor, if they didn't make the floor, they would tell us, "Oh, there's a bump, now jump," because it was they would have to tell you what to do. A lot of it was green screen.
You guys are like Lord of the Rings before Lord of the Rings when they were using all that green screen. Peter Jackson's watching this while filming Lord of the Rings to get some pointers.
Yeah, we gave him all his best
all
ideas.
Those angles. Yeah, all the details. He gave it all from here. And I think it's a great idea that they, normally for a kids movie they would make the kids the focus, which they do, but it's a great split between focusing on the parents, getting the kids' attention. Whereas the first movie, the kids were shrunk. Second movie, Adam blew up. So now it's just kind of natural that you guys were shrunk or the parents were shrunk. So it could be a parent adventure because, parents are watching these movies too, and now it's kind of funny. And I always talk about this when I watch these movies with people, or I talk about people who have been in some of these movies, watching it as a kid, you watch it as a kid's point of view, and then you grow up and you see it from a parent point of view or an older person's point of view, and you just kind of see both sides, and it makes you appreciate it from different angles for sure.
That's very perceptive. That's really, yeah. It's like, to bring up another show, like Dinosaurs was good for the kids because of the puppets, and it was good for the parents because of some of the social and political stuff that they dealt with. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you're right. It's nice for the parents to be able to see, and it's nice for the kids to see how parents might or might not react in situations.
Exactly, and then it kind of had that underlying, how parents can learn to trust their kids in situations, because us kids are always wanting to prove ourselves that, hey, you can leave me alone for more than an hour, or I can back the car out just beyond the driveway. Like, come on, just give me a chance. So it's another good movie as to show that, if kids can prove themselves, parents can finally trust kids as a way, both ways. So definitely a good combination.
Oh, I remember this.
The wicker. Now, the wicker on top, was that just this set right here that you guys are climbing up? And it's just kind of the details that, you don't really see too much nowadays. If you do, it's very minimal. And I feel like you see this is like sprinkled, not only sprinkled, but throughout the rest of the movie. Since it, like you said, it goes mostly to the parents, so it's a lot of green screen, but there are a lot of these practical sets like you guys sitting on this wicker, supposed wicker, top of the wicker chair.
Yeah. I think there was some wicker. I also remember, whether that's why we're talking, I guess they put big yellow safety lines on us. Like big, not just piano wire. When people were crossing, and I, for some reason, said I didn't want one when I was crossing whatever I was crossing. There was a mattress down there or something, but I didn't want one because I wanted more of the feeling of what it would be like to cross to be in a little bit of danger.
So that's real sweat we're seeing then.
Well, yeah, but like you don't know it. But on those guys, they had these big yellow safety lines, just so that nobody would die, and nobody did.
See, I mean, you like I signed the waiver. What are you worrying about?
That's right. I signed my life away to shrink. This is cute.
Oh, then her worst fear comes true with the
the block.
No, she didn't put her blocks down. Look what happens. I think that's more on her fault. I think she needed to get her brakes taken care of as opposed to an overall brake issue in the world.
But you see all the social relevant things that this movie has brought up, like safety, car safety, wearing helmets. See, this is not just an entertaining movie. This is a teachable movie.
Oh, we're gonna get to some more educational stuff. Like I learned that bananas have potassium in them thanks to this movie. So
that's the first time you knew that was when you saw this movie. Tell us about it with you.
I mean, it was a little late. Yeah, a little late in my years. I'm not gonna lie, but it was knowledge that has stuck with me since. And look at these kids, of course, classic kids. Give them like $40, they get $40 worth of chips. I'm like, where's the protein? Where's the hummus? Where's the good stuff?
Oh, wait a minute! I remember the cars across the street, so they think nobody's in the house.
Yeah, and it just happens that the house across the street is for sale, so nobody's gonna report that this weird car is in their driveway. So it just works out perfectly. When I'm finished with this, I'm going to have to go over some of this movie again with the sound on, so I can hear it because it's kind of interesting now. Oh yeah, I mean it's something people need to revisit multiple times because it's got different angles. It's like it's one of those. It's not like you said high concept, but it's got different angles that you're gonna have to pay attention to really appreciate.
Well, that's Dean. I mean, he certainly knows what he's doing. I'm guessing this is all green screen. You got to be very careful walking on the floor. That he gave us little booties, because if you got it dirty, then it would show up on the screen.
So that's why you guys' feet are never shown. You got the booties on right now.
Well, no. When the scene started, we could take them off. But getting around or getting in rehearsing,
okay.
You couldn't get that thing. You couldn't get it dirty, or else you'd probably there may be a hole, in the floor.
Well, I mean, green screen technology's come a long way, but it also kind of has the same principles as it even back in '97 to today. From what I've seen when I watch behind the scenes footage, it seems, keep the floor clean and don't wear green.
And don't wear green. Yeah, I'm guessing that the technology. I don't know. Is it changed a lot? I mean, isn't it?
I think it's more just like editing it is probably easier than it did, or shooting and editing it as opposed to applying it. Because even I myself have a green screen that I play around with at my place. So yeah, cool. So just kind of have fun with it. But not to the point where I can have huge props to where, dropping down on fish lures.
Oh, I remember there's a scene, it's all coming back now, in laundry baskets that they had huge, real, I think a practical prop, and we were just being tossed back and forth in this laundry.
And that's the thing, like the attention to detail, because nowadays that would just be all green screen, and you guys would just be rolling around on a blue screen, on a blue floor or something like that.
That's right. You know, the other nice thing is that we don't. I mean, I used to be Christmas card friends with Rick. I haven't seen him in a long time, and I occasionally keep in touch with the girls. But we were all friends. I mean, it was a very happy set. There was only 4 of us, you know, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice that we all got along.
Yeah, you guys we're probably with the kids for what, like 25% of the movie, and the most of the time it's just you 4.
Yeah.
So it's almost like 2 separate. You guys are filming 2 separate movies for the most part.
That's
Even
right.
when you guys are interacting in the scenes, you are on the green screen, you know, yelling up to, you know, giant kids type of thing. So, yeah, it's probably just the very beginning and end when you guys are on the same set.
Wow.
And then here, I didn't get the whole blowing up a chili in the microwave thing. I'm like, look, I'm mischievous as a kid, but even I know my mom would whoop my ass if I even thought about putting a balloon with chili in the microwave.
That's
not a good idea.
That's what they wanted to do, huh?
Yeah, I was like, oh man, the volcano is a great idea. It's just classic kid mischief. But of course, his sister, she wants to throw a party. She's like, well, no one's here. And a party to teenagers is like 3 of their friends, and that's it. And like $40 worth of catering for 4 girls. Ugh, I could just smell that burnt balloon from here.
What was I forgive me? What's the name of the other brother? I know Bug Hall was the smaller one. What was the name of the other one?
Oh, that's a good question
Put you
too.
on the spot.
We had Adam and I forget it. When he talks, I have closed captioning, so I will find out eventually when he speaks. Oh, here comes the famous Micro Machines car. Micro Machines, of course, were still a big thing at this point. I feel you could have given the Micro Machines man a run for his money on the motor mouth.
I think if not the whole car, a great deal of it was practical because we had to sit in it.
That thing has to be displayed somewhere. Because
The car. If there is a car, sure.
Because we all had the cars with those wheels with the same hubcaps, and I wouldn't be surprised if you look on eBay right now, you could probably find it.
Wouldn't that be great? I could be a rich man if I took some of those practical props, put them in the garage.
You're like, oh, I'm just gonna take a quick around the corner, and then they never see you again. Wow, all this is coming back. It was fun. Yeah, I mean, it looks like you guys are having a great time. Like, nobody's, like, kind of, you know, like they would say, phoning it in because they might be on a kid's movie or this movie they may not want to necessarily be in. This, like, you guys are having a great time. You're embracing it all. Like, that's what makes the movie more enjoyable, too. Because, of course, as kids, we can kind of pick up on that kind of stuff. So, seeing you guys are having a great time with it, knowing that adults can have a great time, yeah, we'll like it.
Well,
we enjoy it.
These people... You know, me too. I mean, we're professional actors. I mean, I don't remember anything that I've ever done, and I don't think Robin or Rick or Eve ever, you know, quote, phoned it in. I think, you know, you commit yourself to these things. Whether look, I've done a few science fiction things. That to me is the hardest to do. You know, I don't consider this science fiction, but you know, to commit yourself to talking about, you know, space this and blah blah blah. You know, I mean, it's tough, but you commit to it. You just do what you can.
Well, you're in the thick of it. Was it Battlestar Galactica? You did some work on?
No, I did Babylon 5 once. I was actually
Babylon 5. That's right.
I was cast in Battlestar Galactica, but I couldn't do it because I was doing another job. And it's interesting that the guy who did eventually get it, he was about to leave the business. He had financial problems, and it changed his life. So in a funny way, I'm happy that I didn't get it and give him a chance. That's true. It's really interesting.
Well, according to your IMDb, looks like you were doing just fine for a while.
No, I have no complaints. Well, I have a lot of complaints, but I'm not going to say it here. this is.
And so, how long did you guys had to sit in the car, get this whole scene taken care of? Like, was it a few days or something? Just get reactions.
No, it was much less than that. It was much less. Here's the laundry. It was much less than a couple. It was a day, half a day, if that.
And then here's the big laundry. This is where they
big
had the
laundry.
big actual big set.
Big set.
What
big
was underneath?
clothes.
What was underneath all these blankets and buttons?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe more.
It was just soft and needed more fabric softener.
All right. I'm tired of watching these kids. Let's get back to the adults.
Well, this is the nonsense I'm talking about. If you want chili dogs, make chili dogs. Now they're just like setting out this volcano, which is great. But there's going to be a lot of chili that's not going to be used. And it just kind of upsets me as an adult now. I'm just upset about it.
I know. I understand.
I was like, oh, God. Okay. All right. I can see this. I see the fun in this right now. And then it just starts going everywhere. I was like, okay, enjoyable. Now it's a mess. And now...
Did you like this when you saw it when you were younger? I mean, did you?
Oh yeah, as a kid, like this is another flipped perspective. As a kid, you're like, yeah, man, let's just mess up the kitchen. No one's gonna care. And then, because mom will clean it up, or she might get mad, so she'll help us clean it up. But now, as a kid or as an adult, I'm like, well, my wife's gonna come home. She's like, well, you're an idiot, and that's all you. I'm gonna go out to eat. So I know what the consequences are now.
Oh, I know what's under there. There we see. We actually had to do all that, which was fun. I think they had big rubber pads underneath the laundry.
A lot of physical comedy. You guys had to. You really had to do it all. In this movie.
Yeah, but it was good. Oh, I remember now. We spent all this time getting down. Now we're gonna have to go back up again.
And I laughed at this part where the kids are talking about. She's like, I like my mom, but just clean up the kitchen. And then Robin, she's like, what am I, your servant? And she's just rolling back and forth. Some good out loud chuckles. And I think I spotted a rat tail. I didn't see Adam was rocking a rat tail there for a while. Unless I'm mistaken. These are some pretty 90s like hairdos as well. As a kid, I know if once we get his name, the other kid with the bowl cuts were the thing in the mid to late 90s with my friends. Everybody had that, thick kind of, it almost looked like a dog. You almost look like that one dog that the bangs going over their eyes. And then the twist, the big twist here that Adam doesn't want his dad to know. I'm looking at this magazine. Oh, it's Mitch. Mitch is the other boy.
Mitch. Oh, they think it's a Playboy and it's
something. And we've all been there. I remember my mom found mine. I was like, ugh, sorry, Mom. She's like, I found your dirty magazines. Like, ugh. And I threw them away. I'm like, that's even worse.
That is worse. Let me talk to her.
Yeah, so see, get that taken care of. So yeah, the switch, and then of course, I had an older sister, so this is basically how she reacted all the time when she'd come home. She's like, "Oh, you're cleaning this up."
So you really associated with this movie.
I'm telling you, this movie it hit home, so that's why it's a personal favorite.
This is great. It's been such a long time since I've seen this movie.
Yeah, let's say, when was the last sit through? You would say?
It's got to be decades.
Yeah.
It's. I remember going to a screening, and boy, that could have been it. I don't even remember if I showed my son. I have to ask him if he's seen it. I'm sure he has because he was on the set, so I'm sure it would be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, especially like I said before, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise, and seeing these props. For me, that's kind of like my thing, is seeing the movie magic, the props, the giant props you guys got to play around on.
Oh, they were great. It was exciting. I remember, I think most movie sets that I've been on, it's always fun. It's there's nothing blasé about it. I mean, I remember working with a guy who was in the business for a long time, and he said every time he was driving on the freeway and saw the sign for Hollywood, he was excited. He still was excited.
It is. It's an exciting thing. The opportunities, the lifestyle, or the movies, the TV, just like everything that you can could potentially happen to you or your friends in the city of angels, they say.
The city of angels. Although nowadays there's very few angels left.
They're out there. Just you gotta be careful. See, like I said, this is for the 4 or 5 girls. They have like $45 worth of catering, which I think they have way too much chips. They have the girl who walked in, she brought a bag of chips. The sister who left, she brought more chips after they already went to the store and got chips. Like there's seriously a chip epidemic going on this set. I think they're just taking off craft services. They're just like, yep, that's what we need. We need that right now.
Some more kids.
And this is probably hit home for some girls too, where the girl shows up to the slumber party, brings her doll. She's like, "Oh yeah, we guys gonna rock out some dolls." Like, "Oh, we're past dolls now. We're on to boys." And like, "Oh man, the realization that your friends have grown up."
Wait a minute, that girl on the right.
That's Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis, who I worked with in a series that I did called Nick Freno years ago, before she became very famous.
Yes, she's she's obviously still works. I've seen her in like the whiskey commercials. She's been in some movies recently.
Lot. I think she married
Meg from Family Guy.
Oh no! But what was her series when she was on camera with Ashton Kutcher?
That '70s show she was on for a long time as well. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Jackie, I believe. So yeah, she's this is pre Mila Kunis.
Pre-fame.
Pre-fame, yeah. It is interesting, I'm sure, as an actor too, seeing just kind of other actors, younger actors transition one way or another.
Well, it's it's interesting. I mean, I've worked with a lot of people that have become fairly successful in the business, including Kevin Kline and James Keach and Mila Kunis and Mindy Sterling. Remember Mindy from what the heck is that Austin Powers series?
Mindy Sterling.
Mindy. She was Frau something in the Austin Powers series. She was on Nick Freno too.
Oh yes. She is in a lot of stuff. I do remember her.
Joy.
She was one of the sidekick villains. Yeah. And right here,
Mila Kunis, she was in the Black Swan. That's right. That made her really famous.
Oh yeah, no, she's just very well known at this point. Especially like I said, Family Guy. She's Meg, does the voice for Meg, so she's been working on that show consistently for over a decade at least.
Oh, God bless her.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's that was a practical. And they actually made that roach. No, they didn't.
Well, the giant roach motel, the little side corner you guys were hiding next to, kind of looked all weathered. Just the detail of that, it was just kind of.
Yeah, it's great, and that was practical. This is practical. Inside was practical too. I mean, they really built that little roach motel.
My thing here is Rick or Wayne just straight up leaves his wife.
Yes, I know.
He's like, "I'm out," and she's like, "Get back here." He's
really
like, "Oh God."
Oh, come on, Eve, you're strong.
It's a conversation. That's a conversation he wasn't looking to have later.
Oh, you see now, PETA is.
This in the PETA days, they would cut this scene. They would highly suggest this be cut from the film. And so yeah, just look, this scene alone just like shows you guys are just having a great time. Parents can enjoy it. The moms are technically getting their vacation from their kids, but not really. But they still get to keep an eye on them. Oh, the Truth or Dare. This is another classic middle school game between boys and girls. Truth or Dare. You always go truth. You never go dare. Your friends are heathens. They're always gonna go for the most over the top thing, and it has come to call this girl, call this person, prank calls, because this is all pre-caller ID, folks. It happened. There was
so give me an example. What is truth or, I mean, what would be a truth and what would be a dare? Dare would be to call the boy?
Yeah, like in middle school, a truth would be like, do you like this person? Or would you make out with this person? And it'd probably be like somebody who wasn't as popular or something like that.
Right.
And then it'd be, the dare would be like, all right, well, you got to prank call Domino's. Or you got to call the principal and hang up on him or something like that. And of course, this is before the invention of caller ID. So this is when scoundrels like ourselves would get away with that kind of stuff.
Well, whenever I prank anybody, I always use a burner phone, so I don't have to worry about that.
You go flip, or you go flip or go home. So yeah, the prank calls were heavy in middle school, and truth or dare. I mean, once you get older, you kind of get out of that. But once the end of truth or dare, you ended it, because that's when people are like, all right, you got to go drive your car as close as you can to that tree. You're like, nah, we're done. We're done with this game. It's over.
You should be really done with that.
Yeah, we're over.
Okay, so I get it. So the kid needs his pills.
Yeah, this is where the potassium's gonna have to kick in. My thing is, man, he's in more danger of walking up and down the steps with those blades on
than not taking his pills.
Than not taking his medicine. Exactly. So
it's clever the way they set up this. They made provision with the bubble machine.
Just freaking out. Yeah, this is another great scene. You guys floating down in the bubbles. I like how everybody goes through the logical reasoning as to why this is a bad idea. It's like we had no control, then could just pop, and it doesn't have the perfect ending. I mean, of course, the wives go, and I think that's funny that the wives go, because they're like the guinea pigs. You guys had no qualms about them going first. You're just like, she's like, I have no fear. You're like, okay, I accept that. I accept it. Go, wife. Go on.
Wait a minute. I remember something when my wife was talking to me and they cut back to me. I had a speech which they cut. I'm going to call Dean Cundy and tell him to put that back.
We need the Dean Cundy director's cut.
That'd be funny. The director's cut of Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
Add like 26 minutes of added dialogue from the parents. As kids, the kids would be like, what is this? As parents, would be like, yes, I've been clamoring for this for years.
Oh, I remember this. We were just.
So you just like sit down on on the blue screen or green screen.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's all right. In our heads, you're in our minds forever. You're in the bubble.
That's very clever. Very clever.
Yeah. See, it's a happy ending for the wives. So it's like, okay, the guinea pigs, they send them out. We're good to go. Good to go. Now, with you guys, not so much. And this is it'll lead to another scene that's will be interesting to talk about. Falling into the French onion dip?
French onion dip. That was yes, I remember that very well. That was a 2-day deal.
Yeah, let's say, how long were you finding whatever you were laying in crevices for days?
Oh my God! And then
we had sand.
We did it, and then we had to come back and the next day and do another shot of it.
Oh, it's like, we didn't get it. We're gonna try another one. You're like, I don't know. I think we got it.
I think we got it. I mean,
I think it looks good.
I remember a scene that Rick and I were in harnesses for some reason. I can't remember what. Not this. But he got into a laughing jack and he just couldn't stop.
Well, you guys technically did all your stunts. Did you have stunt doubles for any of these?
No,
any of these shots?
But,
yeah.
No. I mean,
not for any cutaways, not for any distant shots.
No, I think. Let me see what happens here. Right there, we're on harnesses, and we probably just fell backwards into whatever huge swimming pool there was of that crap.
And so, what is this material at this point? You guys are
it's some sort of clay,
definitely not
water.
Something edible or want to get in your mouth.
Nothing. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that, but oh God, 2 days of this.
Just swimming around.
Oh, it's yucky.
I mean, it's a good mirroring of the Cheerios scene from the first movie. You know, when the other son, which now I can't remember his name either, almost gets eaten by Rick Moranis. So the famous "Don't eat me" scene, which is a solid product placement for Cheerios, which, by the way, this movie itself is not short of those product placements. They paid the bills easy on this one.
Yeah, you're right. I guess the company gets money for every logo they see. Huh?
Yeah, hey, I don't blame them. I'm not mad at them. You know, as long as you're not like
business.
it's business. Yeah, we get it. You know, every movie we've ever watched has it. Some were better at hiding it or getting it out than others. So it's always going to be there.
Oh, I remember this scene too. Jumping over the imaginary
little bubble. Yeah. I think the weirdest thing among seeing two small humans and a boy mimic a monkey is that these kids have put marshmallows in the same bowl as Cheetos. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
No, this should have been an R-rated movie for that.
Whoever was the set director or artist has gone haywire. They didn't take their meds that day.
Oh, I remember this too. We sort of jumped onto a very short thing, and then of course they made it longer.
Was it as a short slide of some sort?
Well, either a short slide or just jumping into a mattress. I remember that.
I just think of tiny splinters.
This was in my athletic days when I could do this stuff. The barrel roll. There we go, baby. That was me.
There you go.
I remember that. Stunt work.
That's on your stunt reel when you send it out for the action movies. It's like, I can do it. Give it to me. Just imagine a 9mm in my hand. Oh yeah, this is the boys show up. These kids are actually, I hate these kids from the very beginning. I hated them as a kid, and I hate them as an adult. So these kids have no redeeming qualities.
Now, in the movie, does she like him?
She just called him as the prank call.
Oh, that's right.
And so that's how he knows what's going on. She's like, "Hey, I really like you," and he's like, "I'm having a party. Bye." And then
but then she realizes that he's evil.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden 12-year-olds have easy access to get two of their friends and get dropped off at this girl's house with I didn't see a parent leaving in the background. These kids are up to no good.
Oh, Gordon.
See, now the brothers, Gordon and Wayne, are not having it. This movie, at this point, the movie would be over. In real life, the moms would be dead. Daddy Longleg would just like snack, we're done. End credits, roll. But no, this is Disney, and we need to have a lightheartedness to it, which is great. But now we have our foes. We have our actual foes in this movie now with these dream boys that she likes, but they're just jerks. And I did know kids like this, or at least you knew of them. They're too cool for school. Cool for school.
Yeah, I knew a bunch of lousy kids when I was younger too.
They just kind of have these weird 90s haircuts. It's just funny. And you're going into dad mode down there.
Oh, I remember this. Oh, this actually works out. I remember with the girls. This works out well.
Oh yeah, she starts. Once they start helping the daddy long leg or mommy long leg get out, I think they establish she's a mom. She talks to her like she's a mom.
Robin Bartlett, Eve Gordon.
I was just gonna say Robin. The last thing I've seen her in, she was in that show. I don't know if you watch on HBO, Vice Principals. And she plays one of the teachers, and she's one of the teachers who's, she's not gonna take any guff from the principals. So she stands out for sure, and so she's She's always
she's
great.
a wonderful actress.
Yeah, always. So that's the
And
last
Eve
thing
worked a lot,
recently
too.
I've seen her in. And yeah, Eve, like I said, Felicity and some of these other like long running shows, like on the WB and some other of these networks, I've seen her on. So
I
yeah,
think
these
she was
great actresses for sure.
I think there's a show called The Good Doctor, which I watch. I think she has a role as an ER nurse, or
Nice.
I think.
You should always just kind of mess with like your former co-stars, get on social media and critique their. Just be like, oh, you're great on this, except your nose was flaring up a lot in this one scene.
No. You know what? I do that. I mean, if I see somebody in a thing that I really like, I'll tell them. There's not I mean, I know a lot of character actors. If I'm walking around, Los Angeles or Hollywood, and I see somebody that probably nobody else would recognize because they're character actors,
Mm-hmm.
I'll
you blend
always,
in. That's your thing.
Yeah, I'll always go up to them and tell them how much I enjoy their work, because I would like people to do that to me.
Is there a secret character actor society you guys are all like a part of? You meet up once a
Well,
month
there's
for
an awful lot
cards
of
and
books
coffee.
out there. There's a lot of books that say, character actors, people that you know who they are, but you don't know them. I actually registered an idea with the Writers Guild, and I wanted to have an award show called the USCAs, the Unsung Character Actor Honors, USCAs, as opposed to the Oscars.
I'm not against that.
And yeah, I thought it was a great idea. I actually pitched it to a lot of people, George Slatter, and nobody at the time wanted it. But it's still there. I mean, it's out there. So
there's this documentary.
I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah,
Huh?
and I'm not sure if it's on Netflix or HBO or Hulu, one of those networks or one of the apps, and it's like I've seen you are on that, or you were that guy. I think that's the title of it.
That's right.
And have you seen that one?
No, I haven't. But
okay.
Like I said, there's a lot of stuff like that out there.
Mm-hmm.
On Facebook, or mostly I see it on Facebook, that advertising books about that, or podcasts about that.
Well, maybe not only does it need its own award show, but its own category at the Oscars. So
I think,
it's
the character. Yeah, well, that's not. I mean, they have supporting actors. I'm going to go on record now and saying, just although I've been involved with awards when I was doing not necessarily the news for a long time, awards are silly. I'm just going on record and saying that now.
Oh, and just a bit pat on the back, for each other or for themselves.
So subjective. Yes. And it's just,
but just at least the acknowledgement, I guess, saying yes, we've included this as part of it because you guys are that important to movie, to show that you like the character actors definitely are important, especially, and it is nice because character actors like yourself, people you have a following. People are like, I love Stuart Pankin movies and shows, so if he's in something, I'm gonna watch it. So it's like just like any star now, or what quote unquote what a star has a draw nowadays. Maybe character actors have a better draw than star actors nowadays.
Well, nowadays people like J.K. Simmons and guys like that who started out as well, the people who don't know their name but they know their faces. They become now they become celebrities. So maybe people pay attention to character actors more. I mean, there's a lot of guys that work a lot that people just don't know their names. Yeah,
just a more of a growing appreciation, just because especially myself growing up and just seeing yourself in all these different roles throughout movies that I've watched, like Arachnophobia, and then hearing your voice in Dinosaurs, and now this movie and everything else in between. It's just like, yeah, I've been a fan just because you've been in the movies and you've made the movies and shows that I liked that much better. So
yeah, that's so kind. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
The difference is in the old days, I'm talking about 40s and 50s movies, there were 12 character actors in the movie. Older character actors, guys that that weren't gorgeous, and a leading man and leading lady. That's the way the movies were. All those Preston Sturges movies and Capra movies. You look at those guys. There's a lot of character actors, wonderful character actors. Nowadays, it's not that way. Now it's mostly a young person's thing, and even the character parts are played by, the surfer dude, or you know what I'm saying. And I kind of I enjoy watching those old movies, and it would be, and before various strikes and political things that happened in L.A., the casts were bigger, and they had more parts for character actors. Nowadays, that doesn't happen. Now you get, a bunch of young, gorgeous people, and sometimes character actors, they don't get the chances that they used to.
Well, that's a lost art in it too. No, well, I completely agree with you, because it's like a lost art, because character actors are character actors because they not say blend in, but are like more relatable in their looks in regards to the everyday man. So when you're seeing some guy who's chiseled, who looks like a Ken doll, no, I'm not going to relate to him as much as I see somebody else who, would look a little bit more like I would, or I can relate to, maybe more, character wise.
Well,
so no, I definitely agree.
And I got to just back up a little bit. That, as I recall, that was Allison Mack's first kiss ever.
So she was definitely nervous the whole time.
Yeah, and the whole, her parents were around, everybody in the crew was around looking, and because they all knew. And but that apparently was the first time she ever kissed a boy.
Well,
just a little Honey We Shrunk Ourselves trivia.
Wasn't terrifying her enough for her enough, I guess.
I don't know. And then what does she do? She blows them off. She
makes mom proud. A first example for showing that kids can learn from what their parents teach them, and we can fend for ourselves.
See, it's actually a message that it's positive that all parents should shrink themselves at least once or twice to help their kids, find themselves.
That, or
I think that's the takeaway of the movie.
If you can't do that, spy on your kids by all means.
or spy on your kids. There is technology now that you don't need to shrink yourself.
Yep, you don't need to shrink yourself, but you can definitely put cameras and microphones in your kids' room.
All right, now you got me looking at product placement. I see Coke.
Oh yeah, we had Trix, Cheerios, we had the Lay's chips earlier.
So that can't be real, right?
No, I don't know. That's the off-brand, I believe. We had the pretzels. I saw the Gold's pretzels, I think was the name.
Oh, cool.
But I like also, like, behind them, like, looks like a huge actual, like, Trix. They probably built, like, in the bottom of it, but, they painted it like the bottom of the Trix box. So, yeah, the product placement is not short here, but, it works with the story because, of course, as kids, you'd buy nothing but junk food if your parents left you $50-$60. That's all I'd buy. Hell, when my wife leaves to go for a day or two, what do I go buy? Pizzas and chips and pop. So I revert to a little kid every time I have a day or two to myself.
Now that's a real prop. That's
right there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I feel like these lost treasures got to be somewhere. I'll be in LA in a few months. I'll be doing a studio tour, so hopefully I'll run into some of these things.
Well, if you do, let me know. I mean, I'm not sure. Did you say there was a Honey We Shrunk the Kids or Honey We Shrunk Ourselves ride?
Yeah, well, there was, and I'm not sure if it's still. I think they may have converted it to Ants when the Ants was popular. That movie, they made it converted the backyard scene to the Ants stage kind of stuff. But I definitely they had like a bee ride or something like that, like one of those Back to the Future kind of bee rides.
Oh, that's
so it was cool. Yeah. But we'll be doing some of those tours and seeing some of these props and things like that. Here's where what's that?
Don't spoil it. Does he live? I don't want to ruin it.
We're not going to spoil for kids, but this is definitely when I found out that how much
potassium.
The potassium has and bananas have.
You see, this movie is a teaching moment for the world. I'm glad this movie was made.
It really is one of those like weird, like not weird, but like it's educational, but it works because now I've always remembered that. Potassium, and if I have like a friend who has a potassium deficiency, I know, hey, let's get some bananas in this guy. And they're like, oh my God, Carlos, you're so smart. I was like, you know what? I owe it all thanks to 1997's classic Honey We Shrunk Ourselves.
Excuse me. 97, 21 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, on the 21 year anniversary.
All right. This No, is that right?
Yeah. Wait, 10, 20? Yeah, 21.
Wow.
We made it. 2 decades.
Just a little personal thing. That scene on the boombox there, I think it was the last scene of the movie, and and when I was finished with that scene, I actually went to the airport and got on a plane because I was doing a movie called Striptease at the time. So
changing tones
I
a little bit.
Yeah, really. And so I remember very clearly how lucky I was actually to have these, a couple of projects.
Well, what was the how high up, and what was the material made of for the speaker?
I don't remember the speaker. It was an actual, practical climbing thing. I wasn't very far up, but I was, it was up there enough so that they could take a whole shot of me and above me and below me.
Well, then nice, and then going right off to Striptease with Demi Moore. Who else was in that?
Armand Asante was in it.
Ving Rhames. Was Ving Rhames in there too?
Ving Rhames was in it. Yes.
Yeah.
I had a nice couple of scenes with Ving Rhames. I run into him occasionally. He's very big and scary, so I always come up saying, "Ving, remember, remember me? I was in a movie with you. I'm not."
You had to preface it like before he takes off his fedora and like goes crazy. You're like, okay, Ving,
That's right.
Hold on a second. Let me preface this. We were in a movie together.
Yeah, this is cute.
This is the voice of God. This is another parent's dream. They could just, shush away a boy or girl they don't like, and they probably do it now with the technology that it is. They probably do it now.
Oh, they could have automatic cattle prods, get those kids out.
Oh yeah. Have you tried any tactics with your kids growing up like this? Any just
Never
being
had
over surveillanced on the kids?
No, let me tell you, no. My son is he was a great kid. He's a great man, and never had to worry about it. Never. He was always wise, beyond his years. And if there was ever, look, what he does behind closed doors or behind closed parties, I don't know, but I trust him.
Well, great. Well, that's a great parenting style. Yeah, most some parents can be a little overbearing, and I think it pushes kids to the opposite way. But if you kind of have that balance, it's nice.
We had a cage in the basement, and he knew that if there was a problem, he would be in it for the night.
Or imminent threat. That usually works as well to keep kids in line. It's probably a more solid one. So, well, here we go. These kids are finally figuring out that you guys are in the house, but still haven't quite grasped the fact that you're tiny.
I think the sales of magnifying glasses went up, 30% after this movie.
You guys still waiting on those residual checks as well. It's like, thanks, Magnifying Co.
You need magnifying glasses for those checks.
I mean, with those, it was probably another product placement. Hell, who knows?
Who knows, indeed.
And then another thing too that these kids come to, another I would think would be maybe a real contemplation is, should we or should we not regrow our parents back to normal size? Do we need them? Do we want them around?
Yeah, isn't that in the movie? I mean, do they actually just have a discussion about that?
You guys hear just in a couple scenes, you'll be on that platform just waiting. The kids will be like, should we? So it's another, like I said, it's a lot of logical contemplations, and especially when you guys are going into the bubbles, you guys are obviously thinking it's the worst idea ever. A lot of logical approaches.
This is very cute.
They're tanning. Classic moms enjoying the moment.
I guess there was a real mini car.
It's got to be. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it in LA. I'm gonna be my friends are gonna be all into like relaxing and going to breweries. I'm like, we gotta find the Micro Machines car from Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
Well, we just got out of it. I'll bet someplace there it exists or existed.
I'm sure, like, it's gotta be like it's like at the beginning of some sort of some tour, or maybe a Hard Rock Cafe somewhere. Maybe if they're still playing. What was it? The one that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly and Bruce Willis started. That was Planet Hollywood, or was that the restaurant?
Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood. Maybe it's in the Planet Hollywood somewhere.
Used to in Planet Hollywood. Nobody asked for it, but I remember going there, and they used to give us free meals because you were in show business. It was a wonderful place to be.
You could just be walking down the side and be like, you know what? I'm a little hungry. There's a Planet Hollywood.
Well, I didn't do it on purpose. We took some friends there, and they said, it's on a. I said, well,
thank you very much.
In the back lot of Universal, there's all kinds of props and stuff that are on the tour. So maybe somewhere there's one of those cars.
If I spot it, I'll definitely let you know.
We'll let me know
that it's in existence. It remains. And now the kids here, this is where the contemplation's like, do we need them? Do we want them? Well, yeah, you need someone who cares for you and loves you, but also who's probably gonna pay for some of these bills too. Your kids don't got jobs. The Tiki, I like how the Tiki made it.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God for Tiki. Now Wayne gets his dream.
I remember this scene.
So yeah, this is like one of like 3 scenes. Everybody's together.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of them in the beginning out in front of the house, and then this.
It's like you guys are all meeting each other for the first time. It's like, hey, kids.
Jeez, Buck, you've grown.
I've seen you for like 4 months. How long of a shoot was it for the whole thing?
I'm guessing about 5 weeks.
Not too bad.
No. Well, it was all local, and it was fairly self-contained in a hangar and green screen, so you could. So
is this kind of shoot you get to go home at the end of the night, that kind of a thing? You're not staying in a hotel, that kind of good stuff. Yeah.
It was real close to my house, and I guess Rick obviously he was in New York. I don't know what happened to his kids when he was filming this. I'm not sure his kids were here. They were young when he was filming this. They
weren't coming on set very much.
Oh no, I don't remember them ever coming on set.
Yeah. Well, he's like I said, it's the last movie, so he's probably in the middle of that decision making of, need to step away. And, for the best of his family, that type of thing. Which
it was an honorable.
A lot of people didn't really know why. I kept questioning it for years, and it's like it's pretty obvious. He stated it multiple times.
Yeah, he did state it. I mean, it wasn't a secret, and it was God bless him, it was a terrific decision.
Yeah, not a decision many people would probably make in the business, and he definitely made a noble decision. And now here we are in the old van. I like how they brought the old van back with the solar panels. That's another one. That with next to when they do those car tours with like the old Batmobiles and the Back to the Future car, they need to have the Zelinsky van next to it with the panels. Now with the giant tiki, I'm already have anxiety as a neighbor. I'm like, look, man, I need to be looking out my window seeing your tiki out there. So there's the adult in me. As a kid, I'm like, yeah, we got a tiki in the bag. As an adult, no, man, your tiki. I'm writing a petition. It's got to go down.
I'm looking at the cast, see if I recognize that. There's Mila. Yeah, it was good. It was a good show.
Yeah, that's it. That's Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. So, Stuart, thank you. We learned so much. Hopefully, we unlocked some memories for you. Since, like you said, it's been a while since you've seen it.
It was a lot of fun seeing it again.
Good.
Brought back a lot of nice memories.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point of it. So I wanted to see, maybe go back to something you may have not seen for a while, or just kind of been maybe not talked in depth about for a while, or something like that. And I know when you were on the first episode, after you talked about dinosaurs and all the other things you'd been involved with, people were like, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves is a personal favorite of mine. Always watch on Disney Channel or on sleepovers. So it's like, you know what? I think people would really enjoy getting a little more insight on Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, and just a little bit more about you as well. There's always plenty to hear about you. Your IMDb, we still have about 10 more episodes. We have a series of episodes just with you that we need to go through just to get through all your IMDb and talk about all the awesome stuff that you've been a part of. So, well, Stuart, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time again for being on the podcast today. So where can people follow you or just kind of check you out online to kind of keep up with what you're up to?
Where? IMDb, mostly Facebook. Those are the places. I don't do Twitter a lot or any of those other youngin' things. But
do you have any projects in the works or anything you're working on personally, or just
there's
enjoying free time?
There's a play or two that I'm doing a lot of theater recently, and there's always something in the pipeline. I mean, my friend, we're actually maybe working on a pilot about older people. So that's in the pipeline.
Hey, you guys got starting the pitch ready, start doing the pilot season stuff, all that good stuff.
I'm ready. I mean, acting is fun. It's a good. I'm lucky to be in it, and it's a fun profession, and you can always work. You just always work. Even if you're in the hospital bed ready to go, you can put a camera on you and you can do something.
They can still hold up a mic to you. You can still do season 5 or 6 of Dinosaurs to this day.
That's right. I'm ready. I'm ready to do another season.
There you go. Well, still, we've all been appreciative of your work, from beginning to end, all the stuff you've been in, especially like you said, some of the 90s stuff that we've been through, talking about dinosaurs and Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves and everything in between. So we appreciate you. We're so glad that you continue to be working and getting involved in other materials. So again, thanks for taking the time today. But everyone else, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Be Kind and Rewind podcast. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and rate the podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spreaker, YouTube, and Poop Culture Podcast Network at poopculture.com. And also follow the podcast on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Be Kind Rewind Pod for all of your nostalgic needs. So thanks, and be excellent to each other.
What you just heard was a podcast in the Poop Culture Extended Universe. For more great podcasts, make your way to www.poopculture.com.